Why are the changes to statutory sick pay in the bill so significant, and what opportunities do they bring for disabled workers and those who have long-term health conditions?
Well, why is it so important at the moment? We've got 8 million people who are reliant on statutory sick pay, which doesn't kick in until day 3 of illness, and that means that you literally do have people, often disabled workers, but not exclusively, dragging themselves into work despite the fact that they're ill, often spreading ill health. I'll give you a practical example, Dr. Tibble. I was at a mental health hospital in Blackpool last year where a group of women workers had to take strike action, working in an NHS mental health hospital because they didn't have access to day 1 sick pay. People who were going into an NHS setting when they were clearly unwell because they could not afford to take time off. We've also got an issue where we've got over 1 million very low paid workers, mainly women, who don't get any sick pay at all because they don't meet the lower earnings threshold. So I think this will be transformative, and we'll get to a situation where people are not afraid to take time off if they're ill because they're worried about whether or not they're going to be able to pay the rent or the mortgage or the bills. So I think it's absolutely essential, and it's a really important part of those basic day 1 rights that every worker should be entitled to.
The only thing, I concur with everything that Paul said, the only thing I would add is that we end up with different workers working in the same workplace under different terms and conditions, and one group of workers who can't afford to take a day sick because they don't get paid, bringing in an illness potentially and infecting other people within not only the workforce but also for the public sector within the health settings as well. So it will be significantly different for all of those.
As we saw from the pandemic, it's really horrendous when people feel they're pressured to go into work and putting themselves and their colleagues at risk. And so, therefore, day 1 rights to SSP is obviously really critical. We obviously, moving forward, like to see an uplift in SSP because we have still one of the lowest rates of statutory sick pay in Europe. But this bill represents a significant step forward, as indeed the recognition that there will be more collective bargaining because we as trade unions will negotiate for day 1 rights, often at full pay, not just simply at statutory rights. But we also look forward, not just simply with this bill, but moving forward in terms of the wider Make Work Pay measures, to work with the government on the health and safety review. I think it's regrettable there isn't anything in the bill on health and safety. We hope that government will continue to prioritise that, addressing issues about mental health in the workplace, but also the impact of long COVID, which is disadvantaging some people. We recognise not everything could be done in this bill, but we look forward to that ongoing programme of work.